Hello and welcome to WPLMS tutorials. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to create different member types and profiles in your LMS site. So member profiles are really an important part of any community-based website. It adds the personalization touch to the user, and they are able to customize a piece of the website as their own, which really gives a feeling of belongingness to any community-based website. So common examples, if you can see, are Facebook, LinkedIn. Every social network has two parts of the website. The first one is the public interface. There's a public profile, and then there is a section that you see when you logged into the website. Similar to that concept, in WPLMS, we have a public profile and a private logged in area. Furthermore, we have created the concept of member profile layouts, and you are able to create different layouts for different types of members. And each of these member types can have different layouts. For example, you can have a instructor member profile, or you can have a student member profile, a parent member profile, a staff member, or if you're using WPLMS for corporates, then you can have a corporate entity member profile. And similarly, you can create unlimited member types and profiles in WPLMS. So let's see how this works. And in the latest version, we have also created the registration option right in the LMS login and registration section. So let's see how this works. So first up, you need to create the member types in your website. So for that, you need to go to the users and member types section. Now here you can see we have the member types. Now for some member types, we are not seeing the delete button, which means that these are imported from the earlier version of a demo. And you can simply go to the YBP settings in the body press and migrate the previously created member types to body press panel. And then on subsequent reload, you will start seeing a delete button, and let's delete all the member types that we have. Right, so when you are designing a community, then one of the most important thing you should start is by considering what types of members will be registering on your website. So here we have the users member types, and this member types is created by BuddyPress, although we have done slight changes to it by adding a user role which can be assigned to the member type. So this is the WordPress user role, which means that when a user is assigned to a particular member type, at that point you can assign a WordPress user role, giving him additional capabilities to edit the site or manage a WordPress store based on the user role which is being selected. So let's start. So first, for this particular demo, we are going to create a student member type. And the below fields has a directory or shown member is actually not really necessary. We can simply create a new member type. Okay, so here we should select the user role as well. So now I'm going to create more, and we can create the instructor user role, instructor member type. Similarly, we can create a parent member type. Now parent will be a parent of the student, and we can assign him as a student or a subscriber and create the member type. Now for others, you can create a staff member, which can again be a subscriber, staff. So here we created 4 member types. Now you can assign these member types directly either from the all users panel. For example, you can go and edit any user and straight away reach their extended profile section, and here you can assign a particular role, particular member type to the user. Now, important point to note is that when you're assigning a member type from the WP admin interface, at that time we are not changing the user role, mainly because you can assign multiple member types to a particular user from the WP admin interface, whereas at the time of registration you can only select a particular member type, and that time it is easier for us to determine which user role the user will be assigned to. So when you are at the WP admin interface and you want to change the user role of any user, you can simply go to the profile section, and here you can select the role of this user and update the user. Now for every user which is registering on your site, you have to create few profile fields which will appear on the profile. Now profile fields are grouped into profile field groups. For better segmentation of the profile fields, you can use the profile field group, and we can add a new profile field group from here. So here I have created 3 profile field groups: base, contact, and work. And the primary one is already created, which is name, and this is the primary profile field which you will not be able to remove because it is required for BuddyPress to assign the name to the user. And let's start by creating a new profile field. And when we create a new profile field, here we can select whether this is a required field or a not required field, and whether this field should be included in the site registration, and for what all member types this field should be available. So let's create a simple field, and we can create it as radio buttons field, and we can set this as a sign up field for all the member types. This can be a required field, and save it. Similarly, I'm going to create few more fields, and then we can create a field like profession, and this can be a drop down select box. So here I've created the different profession options for the parent, and now we are going to select the user member type for which this particular field will be applicable to, and that is the parent. And we can make it required and a sign up field only for the parents. And then we can create other profile fields such as phone number, and here you can enable this phone number for all the member types except for the student member type, because many students are not required to have phone. And this could also be a required field for the sign up, and some of the fields may not be a sign up field, for example this address field. And then we have this work and here we can create fields such as, which can be a repeatable field, and this field again we do not need it to be enabled for the students and maybe only for parents and instructors. And you can select the type of display, or whether you want a timeline display or a simple list display, and you can select it. So similarly we can create more fields. Now we can create a table field for the staff members. Definitely this does not require parents. And we have a different tutorial for how to create the table fields. And this is a skills matrix that we created only for staff members. And then we can have a social profiles, which will be the Facebook, Twitter, all three social media accounts, and simply connect it with the social type. And this can be for all the users, and this should not be a sign up field or a mandatory field. And then we should probably add another field group wherein the user will write about themselves. So we can say an about field group, like with what summarizes you in one line, and can be a text box for all the members. So all these fields, they will help us in designing the profile layouts in a better way. About, and this can be a multi-line text area. And in contact you can also add a gallery wherein users are able to upload their images. So for that we have the gallery profile field, and users can upload their images and other stuff. So once we have created these profile fields, now we can go to the YBP member profiles and create a profile. Now we can create a member profile for the students, and you can apply it directly for all the member profiles, or you can keep this as the default member profile which gets applied to any member who is not any of these member types. So let's keep the student profile as the default, and when we publish it, the default will automatically apply if none of the defaults are selected. Otherwise you can select a default, and then this profile is set as the default profile for all the members. So before moving on to the next phase, what we should do is probably assign the administrator user with the student member type. Now as already specified that when you switch the member type from the backend, from the WP admin interface, it is not going to change the user role, and this becomes really helpful when you are creating and testing the profiles, how they will look like. So here when we go to the profile and go to the edit section, you see that we have all the fields, and these are the fields which are specific to the student user role, which means there is no phone number field. As you can see, we added a phone number field in the contact, and it is missing for the student, which is rightly so, because the phone number field was specific to parents and staff and instructors. So let's fill out the fields as a student. So here I have configured all the all the data which is. Now the reason we filled this profile earlier, because when we are creating the profile layout in Gutenberg or Elementor, it is going to pull the content from the saved fields of the current of the administrator. So which gives us a correct view of how the profile is going to look like. So let's go back to the WP admin interface and back to our member profile, and here we can quickly design the student profile in Gutenberg and see how this will work. So we can either design a 2-column layout or a 3-column layout. It depends upon what layout you are trying to create. And we can first add a avatar, which is the BuddyPress avatar, and here we can add the profile field, and you can select the profile field in a stacked, which is, or a spaced manner, and increase the size. Right. So here you can see all the information that is appearing on this particular screen is actually pulling data from the profile field that was filled by the administrator. So this is how the profile is currently appears. And this is how it appears as a user now. Now if we open the profile in incognito mode, which is a non-logged in mode, you can see how this entire profile appears. And we can probably enhance this with some CSS to make it look better than what it is looking right now. Can add a spacer here and a spacer at the bottom. And we can add a gradient. So after adding some custom CSS and styling down few elements in the profile, in the Gutenberg profile, now when we view it on the live, it appears like this. So here, this is our punchline profile field, and this is our gallery profile field. Then this is our table profile fields, and this is the about section. Now a lot more things can be added, and you can see how it appears in the responsive mode. And this is for the student profile. So whatever the student will enter in his profile now in the edit screen, that will be visible to the student in the view mode, and he'll be able to make changes accordingly and create his own profile. Similarly, we can create a different profile layout for the other member types by going to the member profiles. Now this is the default profile, and similarly we can create a different member profile for, let's say, a parent user. And this time we are going to assign this profile to a parent member. So important part to note again is that when we assign this, so in order to design this profile layout, we again have to go to the to my profile, and then in the extended profile we will assign the member type of parent, and then we update it. So now we are the parent member, and now when we go to the edit screen, and all the fields are already there, but now we have some fields which were specific to the parent. For example, we had this profession field, and we can now select a profession, and this profession gets assigned to the parent user role. And we also get the phone number, and you can enter the phone number here. Then we get the organization skills, and this is different from what the student was getting. And then we have the current position. Next, we are going to copy the student profile into the parent profile and start by editing the parent profile. So I'm just going to copy, and 4 blocks you can see have been copied. And we go back to the member profiles, edit the parent profile, and simply paste. So all the blocks are now copied here. So here we need to make sure that we are using the right fields which are available for the parent user role. For example, we only have here the organization skills, current position, attach a phone number, and remaining things we can attach. We can remove some of this. So here you can see we created an entirely different profile layout using the same structure, and we can also change the color so it better suits our. And now we can save it. So now when we view the administrator's profile in the incognito mode, and this is how it appears now. And we can, of course, we are not using any of the WPLMS specific profile fields, which includes my courses or instructing courses. This is just more about how the YBP as a framework would work, and you can create different profile fields which the users themselves can manage, and users can view the profile fields and make changes accordingly. Now, after you have created the user profiles and the user profile fields, you can enable the registration of the member types directly in the YBP registration page. And to enable that, you just have to enable this switch, which is YBP settings and show member types in registration. So once you enable this switch, when you open the app page or the login pop-up, and a user wants to create an account, you'll see that there is a register as select drop down, and here the user can select which drop down the user wants to select. So for example, the user wants to register as a student, and here user has to write his name, gender and age. And if he wants to register as a staff member, then there is another field which is the phone number. As a parent, Then there is another field which is required, which is the profession as an instructor. Then again you can see, so the fields are changing depending upon how you have selected which fields should appear for the sign up form for a particular user. Now the last part includes the customization of the app screen. So the app screen is the page where all the action happens, which we also call as the app page. So when a user logs into the app page, you can see all the controls that are available to the user. And now we would want that some of these controls should be enabled for depending upon the member. So for that we have to go to the appearance menu section, and here we can see that we have the logged in drop down menu and the profile menu. So the profile menu is the one which is appearing on the left, and the logged in drop down menu is the one which appears on the regular pages when you click on the screens. Now you can customize this menu and this menu depending upon the member type who is using the screen. So as such, we do not have different logins for different type of members, but the members area or the app page, it automatically adapts to the user who is logging in. So for that we have to go to the YBP settings, and in the buddy press we will enable the different menu by member types option. Now once this is enabled, and now if you go to the appearance menu section, you will see that we get the menu option for all our member types. So we have the profile menu for students, profile menu for staff, profile menu for parents, profile menu for instructors. And by default, all these profile menu settings are optional. If any of the profile menu is not set, it will default to this profile menu setting which was earlier configured. So let's create a profile menu for student. So we are going to create a profile menu. So we simply go ahead and click on create a new menu. And we will assign this menu to the profile menu for students. And now we are going to add the dashboard, courses, activity, drive, messages. And when we add all these entries from the buddy press member to the profile menu of the student, and now let's convert our member type to the student member type. And here we'll set as student member type. Now these settings will apply when you log out and re-log in to the site. So I'm going to keep this like this and log in the incognito mode. So here we go to the sign in, and you'll be able to see the difference on what the new menu looks like. And we log in as administrator of WordPress, but student of the YBP panel. So here you can see that while earlier our app is showing that we have courses and access to members panel, here we only have access to the courses, activity, drive, and messaging part. And now let's change to an instructor view. Now we have to log out and re-log in. And now the menu will pretty much appear as same as what we are having right now, because this is the overall default menu. Now let's create a menu for the instructor. And assign it to the location of profile menu for instructors. Now we can assign the various components that you want the instructors to have access to. And we save them. Again, we have to log. So here you can see our menu is again different from the default profile menu that is set. So this is for the instructors that we have configured. Now, important point to note is that we have the same dashboard loading for all the members, and you can also configure a different dashboard for each member, because dashboard is a very important part of any social network. And for different type of dashboards, we can use the same YBP settings and go to the BuddyPress tab, and here we are going to enable different dashboard for each member type. And once we have this enabled, when we go to the appearance widgets section, here you'll see that we have the YBP member dashboard, which is the default dashboard, so which is loading for all the members. But once the switch is enabled, it is going to load the widgets from the dashboard, which has been newly configured. And here you can simply use the Gutenberg blocks as well. Update, and when we simply drag and refresh, you can see that our widget starts appearing. So by default, the concept of dashboard revolves around widgets, and you can add all the widgets which are available by searching for dashboard. And here we have a lot of widgets for dashboard, very useful widgets. So for instructors, we have the instructor simple statistics widget. So for all the courses, so we have very useful widgets for instructors. So we have the instructor commission graph, then we have the instructor statistics, and you can set the default width over which this particular widget should appear. So by default, all widgets are appearing half in size. Now let's drag and refresh this. So here you can see that we have the courses which are assigned to this particular user, and the instructor statistics widget is appearing. And this is how it will appear in iPhone, in mobile phones, and you can see and use it as an app, and publish it on app stores. So that's it from WPLMS tutorials. Thanks for watching.